halftime. How you feel about Kendrick's performance?
Oh man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship.
Yeah.
Drake is once again trolling Lucian Grainge, the CEO of UMG, by posting his daughter-in-law. He also unfollowed everybody on his burner and now only follows her. Messing with the labels like this is a very risky move.
It has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, you know, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy. Drake has a rich baby daddy.
I talked to a UMG executive earlier today, and you know, he was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know this to be the case, but it seemed like he trying to get out his deal. This is like a strategic play to get out his deal.
So Pusha T. Oh my God, you won't believe the drama that's unfolding in the music industry right now. The tea is scalding hot, and it's all about Drake's spectacular downfall. Get ready, because this story has everything: betrayal, ego, and some seriously questionable decisions. Can we just talk about how Pusha T has officially entered the chat? And honey, he's not just stirring the pot, he's serving up a whole feast of shade about Kendrick's anti-Drake Super Bowl extravaganza. The way Pusha's dropping these hints about Drake's elimination being planned behind the scenes is absolutely delicious. And speaking of Kendrick, he just absolutely shattered the Super Bowl halftime show record with a mind-blowing 130 million views. While everyone was celebrating this historic moment, Pusha T couldn't help but slide into the conversation with the most cryptic message ever. And trust me, the fans are convinced it's major shade aimed directly at Drake. Meanwhile, our boy Drake, oh sweetie, he's spiraling harder than a teen who just got ghosted before prom. And now he's taking his beef with UMG CEO Lucian Grainge to a whole new level by targeting Lucian's daughter-in-law, Sophia Richie. The irony here is, just remember how Drake spent years bragging about his exclusive UMG contract, how he'd strut around flaunting his relationship with Lucian like he was wearing the crown jewels. Well, darling, that's all exploding in his face faster than a TikTok trend. The fans are absolutely eating this up, saying Drake basically signed a deal with the devil, thinking he was special, and now he's paying the ultimate price. But instead of playing it smart, Drake is hitting that self-destruct button like it's his favorite Instagram filter. I mean, suing the label that gave you $400 million? That's not just a choice, that's a choice, honey. And now going after Lucian's family? Drake must have a career death wish, because none of these moves are making any sense whatsoever. With Pusha T dropping these hints that Drake was always destined to fall, we have to ask ourselves, was this Drake's fate all along? Why is he moving like he's trying to permanently demolish what's left of his reputation?
You don't stand for nothing, you don't say nothing about nothing. You don't. And you run to the Memphis, oh, I'm Memphis, Houston, that's my black side. You never related.
Let's spill some more tea about Pusha T finally breaking his silence on Kendrick's record-shattering Super Bowl performance. The fans are absolutely convinced he's sending some not-so-subtle messages about Drake's downfall. When Pusha took to his Instagram stories to acknowledge Kendrick's historic win, it wasn't just your typical congratulatory message. No, no, no. His words had everyone reading between the lines like they were studying for their finals. Pusha wrote "Mission accomplished" with those congratulations, and he even praised Kendrick's Super Bowl show while chatting with some paparazzi. You could literally feel the pride radiating from him about Kendrick's accomplishment.
Super Bowl halftime. How you feel about Kendrick's performance?
Oh man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship,
Yeah.
the creativity, you know, real artist. For real.
Yes, sir.
And he did it his way.
Okay.
Gotta respect it.
Now, let's dive deeper into that "mission accomplished" comment, because the fans are absolutely dissecting it like it's a season finale cliffhanger. They're saying Pusha knew exactly what he was doing, hinting that Kendrick successfully sealed Drake's fate, something that Pusha himself played a massive part in orchestrating. Let's not forget the tea that started it all, when Pusha cracked Drake's untouchable image back in 2018 with "The Story of Adidon." That track exposed Drake's secret secret son and baby mother to the world faster than a viral tweet. That moment alone completely transformed how people saw Drake. And now with Kendrick's back-to-back takedowns and Drake's spiral into self-sabotage, it's looking like this was all part of some master plan to strip away Drake's golden boy status for good. Now let's talk about how Drake has been moving more recklessly than a shopaholic with an unlimited credit card. After Kendrick's Super Bowl performance broke records, Drake's been spiraling harder than ever. He's posting non-stop on his Finsta. And while yes, some of this is promo for his new collab album with Party Next Door, this isn't just about Drake trying to make a musical comeback. He's escalating his war with UMG and making moves that could land him in even bigger trouble than he's already swimming in. Remember last month's tea? Drake filed this federal defamation lawsuit against his own label, UMG, claiming they artificially boosted Kendrick's diss track, Not Like Us. According to Drake, UMG conspired with streaming services to inflate the numbers and knowingly let a song that falsely accuses him of being a PDF file go mega viral. Running to the courts over a rap beef and suing your label instead of directly responding to Kendrick was already giving major yikes energy, but now Drake's taking things to a whole new level of petty. And as he always does when he has a problem with a man, Drake is going after the women close to them. This time, he's targeting Sofia Richie Grainge, who's married to Lucian Grainge's son, Elliot. On Tuesday, February 11th, Drake shared a picture of Sophia wearing an OVO shirt on his other Instagram page, and she's now the only person Drake follows from his Finsta account. But honey, this move is backfiring harder than a broken flat iron. Fans are saying this just proves once again that Drake has zero self-awareness and has learned absolutely nothing from this beef. Plus, instead of coming directly for Kendrick or Lucian Grainge, Drake is targeting a woman who has literally nothing to do with this drama. And what makes this even more cringe? This isn't the first time Drake has taken cheap shots at women instead of directly addressing the men he's beefing with. With Meek Mill, he went after Nicki. With Pusha T, he brought up Pusha's fiancée, Virginia. Against Kendrick, he kept throwing shots at Whitney. With DJ Mustard, it was his ex-wife. And when MD said Drake makes pop music, Drake went and followed his daughter who had just turned 18. And now that he's in a full-on war with Lucian Grainge, Drake is coming for his daughter-in-law, who, by the way, is 12 years younger than Drake, married, and has an 8-month-old baby. You'd think that with all the allegations swirling around Drake and young women, he would be extra careful and steer clear of dragging any women and children into his beef, but it's like he just can't help himself. Now fans are saying that despite all that talk from Drizzy's fans about Drake supposedly being unbothered, it's crystal clear that he's spiraling in real time, and the way things are looking, it's only going to get messier. One fan spilled the tea perfectly saying, "Mind you, Drake has to be aware of how destructive his fans have been lately, so to post Sophia, who's minding her married business with her little baby girl, knowing your deranged fans will flood her comments and socials on your behalf is actually nasty AF. He's a B." And someone else wrote, "You posting Sofia Richie, who is not only married to Lucian Grainge's son, but is the daughter of Lionel Richie. Sure, Drake's fans have no clue who he is, LOL. When you mess with powerful men's families, don't cry when they pull a plot twist on you." Now, let's dive into the real tea about Lucian and his fallout with Drake, because that seems to be the real reason behind Drake's meltdown. Apparently, Drake is convinced that Lucian plotted against him, which makes zero sense considering Drake was UMG's biggest cash cow for years. Now, Drake's fans are trying hard to spin this lawsuit as some revolutionary move, claiming that Drake is suing UMG as a way to fight the whole industry and help small independent artists fight against these evil labels. But let's be real, sweetie. Drake had no problem being Lucian's golden child when it benefited him. In fact, he was more than happy to flex his special privileges, constantly bragging about how different his deal was from other artists. He even name-dropped Lucian in multiple songs, acting like he was untouchable because of how
shit done changed. Billionaires talk to me different when they see my pay stuff from Lucian Grainge. Who the CEO of Universal? They're mistaken, cause Google's saying Lucian, but that just doesn't make sense. Who got Lucian? I said, it, I'm tearing holes in my budget. All I know is that God got me. I'm sitting on large properties, treat me like a newborn. Lucian not dropping me.
What's absolutely wild is that before this whole mess with Kendrick, Drake wasn't just another UMG artist, he was Lucian's golden boy. Back in 2021, Drake locked in one of the biggest deals in music history, rumored to be worth $450 million, and Lucian himself made it clear that Drake could have whatever he wanted.
On Stay Schemin', Drake says, "Tell Lucian I said I'm tearing holes in my budget."
Tell Lucian I'm tearing holes in my budget.
Did Drake call you up after that and say, "Hey, I need more money for my project"?
If ever Drake or whenever Drake calls up and says he needs more money for his project, I give it to him.
Now, there are a few juicy theories floating around about what caused this huge fallout between Drake and Lucian. Some people are saying that Drake may have gotten a bit too comfortable in his position as UMG's cash cow and tried to push his luck. According to some sources, Drake tried to renegotiate his deal and demanded a whopping $600 million from Lucian. But the problem is, Drake forgot who's really in charge. Despite all his success, Lucian's the boss. And Drake is still just an employee, no matter how big he got. But hold on to your seats because there's another theory making the rounds, and it's spicier than your favorite hot sauce. Some fans are speculating that this has something to do with Diddy's case because last year, Lucian was named in one of the lawsuits filed against Diddy. Remember that lawsuit producer Lil Rod filed against Diddy? Well, it wasn't just targeting Diddy, it also had some serious accusations aimed at Lucian and UMG. Lil Rod suggested that Lucian and Diddy's connection could be more than just a business deal, saying Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Grainge visiting Mr. Combs' home in Miami, Florida and Los Angeles, California. According to Mr. Jones, whenever defendant Grainge visited Mr. Combs at his homes, it would be in the evening, and he and Mr. Combs would disappear for hours in Mr. Combs' bedroom. And then Lil Rod accused Lucian of aiding, abetting, and inducing Diddy's criminal venture, and claimed that Lucian was one of Diddy's co-conspirators who knowingly benefited from Diddy's alleged crimes. According to Lil Rod, Lucian was providing vast sums of cash which made Diddy's criminal venture possible. And on top of that, Lil Rod alleged that Diddy might have Lucian on tape doing questionable things at these freak-off parties. But here's where things get shadier than a beach umbrella. In May 2024, just a few months after Lil Rod filed his lawsuit, news came out that Lucian and UMG were dropped from the list of people.
Lucian Grainge and Universal Music Group are now dropped from the Diddy lawsuit. Tyrone Blackburn dropped them from the lawsuit with prejudice after the attorneys for Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge said that the accusations were so offensively false that they plan to seek legal penalties directly against the lawyer Tyrone Blackburn and not even the accuser. And I feel like the only reason that Tyrone Blackburn dropped them from this lawsuit is because he knows how good of attorneys these actually are, and they're backed by Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge, so there's some big money behind them.
And guess what else went down in May 2024? Kendrick dropped 3 diss tracks aimed not just at Drake, but at the whole industry. 616, LA, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us. So just when Lucian and UMG thought they'd escape the heat from Lil Rod's lawsuit, Kendrick and Drake's beef started to really heat up. And Kendrick wasn't just coming after Drake. Remember on Meet the Grams, Kendrick spits, "I've been in this industry 12 years. I'ma tell y'all one little secret. It's some weirdish going on and some of these artists be here to police it. They be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender, then leak videos of themselves to further push their agendas." So basically, Kendrick is implying that it's not just Drake who's the issue, it's the people behind him. He's hinting that the higher-ups in the music industry might be running some shady operation. And while artists like Drake are used to keep things in check, there's someone even bigger pulling the strings. And you already know UMG was watching all of this closer than a helicopter parent. The last thing Lucian needed was more negative publicity tying him to allegations about PDF files in the industry, especially after he got his name cleared from Lil Rod's lawsuit. But here's where it gets even crazier. Some people also started speculating that Diddy's whole setup with the freak-off parties and secret recordings was actually a blackmail scheme put together by his higher-ups for their political agendas. So yeah, after Lucian managed to stay out of the Diddy drama, the last thing he wanted was for the Drake versus Kendrick beef to bring all those allegations back up. That's why some people think Lucian told Drake to stay quiet after Not Like Us dropped. But Drake decided to go against his boss and bite the hand that feeds him. He felt disrespected and embarrassed, and he couldn't let it go, especially after all those years when UMG and Lucian made him feel untouchable. However, since Drake knew he couldn't beat Kendrick with his lyricism, he made a bold move to sue his own label for defamation, claiming that UMG let Kendrick release Not Like Us and make money off of false claims. But now people are saying Drake is risking it all with this lawsuit. UMG is the biggest label in the world, and going up against them is a quick way to get knocked down. History's shown that no artist is bigger than the system. But what's your take on all these weird moves Drake's been making lately? Like posting Lucian Grainge. Do you think it's just him spiraling, or is there something deeper going on? What do you think really happened between Drake and Lucian? And do you think Drake will ever bounce back to his former glory? Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't miss out on this next video.